Good morning, everyone. wasAaddict here. So I wanted to talk about the way I done it. I was watching a TikTok last night, a live, and someone asked me any tips. And my tips I'm going to share with you guys and really tell you how I got through to the where I am now. You know, it wasn't easy, and it was very, very frustrating. So I started on a journey 2019, and it was a journey of the unknown. You know I was suffering with addiction, and I really wanted to stop, and I was not a person who did well in the world, unless I was drunk or using. I would be your friend, but when I was not on it anymore, I'd be sleeping and not want to know you. So I went into this recovery kind of having to do it alone. I couldn't reach out to the meetings, which I didn't want to, because that's something that doesn't interest me, especially because it's very godly, and people say it's not God, it's high power. To me, it's godly. God's name's mentioned a lot. So I kind of isolated myself, and I was already isolated, but I isolated myself where I had no contact with anyone outside of my house. If anyone would come over, I'd tell mum to tell them I was asleep. I was very weak to relapsing, and if I saw someone, I would see them as a drink or a pipe. So I didn't see humans as humans. I saw them as my addiction. So COVID hit, and I really got a chance to isolate and not look for a job. And I think early recovery days, working is not a good thing, because it puts you back into that world, and that world mainly revolves around using. So I got to stay at home and not get hassled to go back into the world just yet. So I've done a lot of healing. I've done a lot of searching on the internet. I come very into knowing myself and how I'm going to beat this, because I was done with using. I didn't want to use anymore. I had enough. I was dying. I lost my mate. I wanted to give up on life, and I had a beautiful son here on earth. So I really just was ready to just take it all in and do what I can. So I think about 4 months to 6 months into the recovery, that was just rest. I needed to rest. And then when I had to go out, I realized that I couldn't go out because I suffered from anxiety, and everything seemed so loud and big and unfamiliar outside my house. And I used to have to go shopping with my sister, and it was terrible. And I hated that feeling. I've never felt so anxious in my life. But I got to 6 months, and 6 months was my thing. I'd get to 6 months and I'd go back to it, because I'd done 6 months without it. I'm a good girl, not knowing that I was actually an addict. So I got the 6 months, and the biggest trigger with me was, my first trigger that I found out was gaining weight. And I used to use to get rid of that weight, because when you use meth, you lose weight very, very quickly. So I started doing fitness online. So I done that, and then I started a bullet diary, and I started to record my journey. And as I'm recording my journey and writing these things, I start to discover myself, and I start to discover a trigger. And my first triggers in my diary were, simple things, but such a big thing. One was a lighter. When I lit my cigarette, I would think about using. So small but so big. So and people, and even Facebook was a trigger to me. Everything to me, it seemed like everything was a trigger, and it was, because I didn't know how to cope without using. And then I've got all these voices in my head and all this panic, and I want to be free. I want to stop using, but is this going to kill me? So then I did that, and then I did some. If I would think of something to do, I would do it. I say, all right, I'm going to walk the dog. I'm going to walk the dog every day at 5 a.m. until I can't do it anymore, And meaning where I can't do it anymore is where I lose interest. I lose interest very easily. It can be things, humans, anything. It comes my flavor of the month, and then I flick it, And then there's no feelings at all. Like, I just walk away. And I've done it all my life to people. I've done it all my life to people. It's a thing that I do, and I guess it's running, running for myself, So that's, I started to record everything, and I got really, really into that, and even to the point where I was doing colouring at the start. I used to colour in these pages. They took forever. Then I built a garden, my recovery garden, and I named all my plants after all my addictions, I made it beautiful. And I didn't do it all at once. I stretched it out. So, this week I'll buy bamboo for the front, and then this week I'll buy a bonsai, and then the next week I'll buy this. And it took time to do it, And then I would meditate out there. I would do my stoic and just really take in the outside, because this is where I started to bring myself out of my room into the open, which was my veranda. And I built this little cozy place. And I had bamboo up so no one could see me, because I was fearful of fucking anything and everything. And then I started to venture beyond, to walking. I used to walk. Here's another thing. I used to walk with my headphones on really loud, so I wouldn't get distracted and want to run home. So that music that I played was pretty full on music. And then I had to learn how to walk without music and have that surrounding and have that real life sound coming through, and that was hard. I've blared things out for so long. Even when I started recovery, I blared things out with loud music, and then I had to really learn how to tone my inner self, and not have to turn to something to make it loud to forget it, I didn't have a future. When I got into recovery, I didn't have a future. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I wanted to change, and something just gave me that oomph to go full ball, and I didn't see a future, and I saw the past, and I couldn't move forward from anything because I was stuck in not being present and not feeling, I couldn't feel a thing. And when I say this, I couldn't feel a thing that I couldn't love, I understand now, because now I can feel things, and now I can love like never before. And that is mind-blowing. But that took a long time to get to that point, and be able to connect and keep friendships around and connect and have pets that I can take on, So it's a big journey. What else did I do? So anything I saw, as I did a lot of research and stuff, I did a lot of writing in a book, and then I don't know where I was at when I started meditating, but I had an anger issue, and it was a little bit bad. So I started meditating, and that is where my mind started to, my mind's always been in control. Now, like at the moment, it's not. At the moment, it's not, because I'm trying to do fitness, and my body will not allow me to do it. But before I can get up like that and do fitness, my mind's a bit more chill. And I know back then I had to listen to my mind, because I was constantly relapsing and I couldn't stop thinking about using. But just it taught me to, when I meditate, I'm in complete silence. Nothing is in my mind. It's just complete. It's gone. It pulls off me. It just drips off me, and that's where I learned how to be chill. I'm very, I used to get overreact. Like I used to get so much excitement that it used to be painful for me that I have to use, because I didn't know how to deal with my excitement. I used to get the fuzzes. I used to do really well in my recovery. This is previous. And then I get the fuzzies where I feel like my body has just shut down, and I feel like I'm standing in a distance and something's controlling my body, and I'm just doing my day-to-day life, but I'm not completely there, right? So I learnt that this time around, and I learnt that it's just something that's a part of me, and I've done research on it. I researched up out-of-body experiences, a way you cope with past trauma. So that's what I'm doing, right? It shuts down, and I feel disconnected from myself, So that was something big to discover, Sorry if I'm off track, guys. And just really being gentle, I didn't know if I was going to make it. Not because I had doubt, but it's not easy to beat addiction. And then what I went through to be clean and sober was worse than using. I experienced some serious pain, like I had to learn everything. I didn't know much. I grew up with a very religious family, and I was kept from the world. And I was kept from the world for so many years. And then when I started using, the using kept me from being the person I am today. So it really continued on. So I really didn't know how to live life, and I had to teach myself everything. And what I've built and what I went through, I done it all alone. I didn't have someone to talk to and say, hey, how do you do this, or what do you do this? Now I have some people around that are like my family, and they've just been amazing, and I'm so glad to have true people around that understand my illness and understand me, and they never give up on me, and that there I haven't had before. And if I did have it, I ran away from it because I didn't know how to be normal. I didn't know how to love. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know a lot. I was very bottled up for so long. And then I hit that recovery, and I went for 3 years, before I found what it feels like to be a recovering addict. And, it took a lot of hard work, but I stuck to what I knew, and I kept my journey changing all the time for the good, So I'd go to the gym, or I'd go to PT1 online, or I'd do a garden. So now I'm losing interest in everything right now. I'm going through a hard stage, I've been trying to sit back and understand where I'm falling. And, I've been watching my behavior and where it changes, and I've been listening to it, and I've been resting, and I'm letting myself sleep in, because for 3 years I ran and just didn't let my mind think, because I completely just thought about using for 3 years straight, which was terrible. But now I'm not like that. So now I'm trying to understand where I fail and where I want to be stopped, and before it goes down into that pit, because I'm over falling, and I'm not running from myself anymore. I'm facing me full on. I'm doing amazing healing. I've healing a lot of things in my past, and just every day, I spend time with myself and just really look after me. I'm not a believer. I don't believe in God. I know I never will. I do believe in the devil. I've met him many, many times. He's there, but I'm just I'm a loner, and I spend a lot of time with myself. And if I don't go out, that's fine. It doesn't bother me. If I don't see anyone, it doesn't bother me, because I don't know how to be that person that can enjoy being around people and stuff. I'm very not sensitive. I get annoyed very quickly, and it just frustrates me, I just went off track, guys. But yeah, so you just got to really switch it up. And how I got these ideas, I think it was just researching, Definitely, if you start in recovery, start writing down your diary, start writing why you changed, and just go from there, because I know when I do pages, like I've just done this page, it's complete. I know when I do pages, I have to sit through it 3 times. So I write it messy, then I write it in pencil, and then I write it in pen. So 3 times it goes through my system, and either way I come out with a trigger. I come out where I'm slipping. I come out when a relapse is coming up, or it's something that tells me something about me. So that's what happens when I do this. And straight after I do it, I've got to meditate. I've got to meditate it out, because it makes a big ball of bad energy, and then I eventually meditate it out, and it gets released, and that's how I don't know how I got through it. This is how I do it. But just really finding what works for you. There's so many options out there, but I'm self-made. I did it all myself, and that's what makes me very proud. Because I beat my own downness. I beat my own self. And that's huge. It's very huge, and I'm very thankful to have stuck it out for the tough and the hard, to feel what it's like, to be clean and sober. And did I think that being clean and sober was going to be okay? No, I didn't. I thought I needed stuff to be okay and feel okay. But I can go out now and do things and I enjoy it, you know. I'm a little bit lazy on myself lately when it comes to certain things I want to do. But I'm just really proud to be a strong recovering woman, you know. I do appreciate the time I've given myself. You know, I was a person who hated myself. You know, I hated the way I looked. I hated myself, you know, and I thought, what's the purpose of me being here? You know, what's the purpose? And I changed that all around. And I must say that I did a lot of IMs as well. And this is where a lot of it changed as well, because, you know, I had to change my mind of thinking, you know, because my mind was so against me. I was taught so many things that are just so wrong, right? And affirmations, you know, now I do affirmations and I do it by voice. It plays to me. But at the start I said it 3 times in the mirror, you know, for almost a year or something. And that rewired that thought pattern, you know. Our bodies and our brains are so magnificent. And when you tap into that energy and that strength that you've got buried under all that stuff, it's mind-blowing. But it's a step by step, you know, it's a very slow process, and you've got to do things that are going to activate that to start to open up, you know, because, you know, we're so shut off and we don't want to help and we don't want to let anyone in. So it's just like, don't come in. So you really have to start to, and you can't do it all at once, you know. This has been a 3-year journey of creating this, you know, and this is my 4th year. It's taken a lot of time, but don't doubt yourself and just keep going, because eventually you'll look back and understand, you know. Put you first, you know. And there was one thing I forgot to tell this person who asked for tips, is wipe everyone out of your phone as well. You know, I wiped everyone out. I didn't have anyone anyway, but I wiped everyone that I knew, because they were my triggers. Outside my house, as soon as I opened my eyes, that was my trigger, you know. So you have to, like, just wipe everything and start to let your own self come out, you know, slowly. And it's going to be scary, you know. It's scary, it's draining, it's sad, it's really, really bad, you know. It's really, and I'm not going to be sugarcoating recovery, because it's not easy, you know. It's it's not rainbows and sunshines. I know for 3 years I fucking went through some severe feelings, you know, and I don't even know how I'm still here, you know. There were so many times that I just thought, fuck this, man. This is bullshit, man. This is not even fun. You know, someone said to me, if you give up cigarettes, you won't be that depressed. Oof. I was more depressed, you know, and I was more suicidal and stuff like that, you know, but I'm thankful they said it, but I go through a lot of feelings, and even now still, you know. But I'm standing on the watch now to see where I'm falling and where that depression's, you know, because I've worked out everything about me, you know. I've worked out everything, but there comes to a point where there's something that I don't understand, and that's a point of my mind like getting those thoughts and me going from that high to that bottom, you know. So I'm at the top of the mountain flying high, and then boom, I hit rock bottom out of nowhere. And that's where I want to find out what's going on. And I got to be light on myself, you know, because I pushed so hard. And I had to push, you know. I had to push, because when you wake up and go to sleep thinking about using, you can't sit there with your thoughts, you know. You can't sit there and go, oh, no. Because your mind is powerful, man, and your addiction is there, and it will jump. It will jump on you. As soon as it has the opportunity to jump on it, it will jump on you, you know. I got sick recently in November last year. My addiction has jumped on me, you know, with the painkillers, you know. That's something that I'm battling at the moment, you know, and it's hard, because, you know, I just done all that preparation, but I didn't prepare for a fucking illness that's got pain in it, you know. So shit happens, like my sister says, and it is, you know. So I'm working around, you know, how how to get through the rest of my recovery. But I'm strong. I'm stronger than I've ever been. You know, that day that I woke up this year, at the start of this year, and I felt that peace, and I felt that drop of that cravings just drop off my shoulders, was a miracle. Was an absolute miracle. You know, when you're going through 3 years of hardship and you think, oh, is this ever going to end? And I honestly didn't think it was ever going to end. Someone goes, oh, you'll get over it. You know, no, you'll start to feel normal. I'm thinking, man, this, like, 3 years is a fucking battle, you know. But I kept at it, you know, I really kept at it. And I guess it comes down to this book and meditation. You know, this book is, you know, when we were in floods, a couple of months ago we were in floods, and I grabbed my book, my paperwork, and that's all I grabbed. Everything else I didn't give a fuck about, you know, because this book holds so much in it. You know, I've done so many pages, and it's my journey, and it's stuff that I wouldn't even remember that I went through, and I look back on it all the time, and I just think, wow, what a fucking champion, right? What a champion. But yeah, if anyone's going for recovery or struggling or whatever, just remember, like, reach out, you know. If you can't reach out and you don't know how to reach out, find your way, you know, find what works for you, you know. I found what works for me. I'm not traditional way. I don't do it by the books. I do it by my book. I'm not religious, you know. I don't have friends, you know. I don't want friends. You know, I've got a family online, and there's one woman that I've met that has had my back from day one, which is just amazing, you know, because, and I tried to run away once before, and I had to really, and that's where it got me to work out what I'm running from and not to run anymore, you know, face myself, you know. It's okay to have friends, you know. I'm worth having friends, you know. Do you know what I mean? So it's just, yeah. Anyway, guys, I love you heaps. This is the affirmations. Let's just run through these real quickly. I am doing my best. I choose to be happy and love myself today. My possibilities are endless. I am worthy. I am brave, bold, and beautiful. Today is going to be a great day. I am talented and intelligent. I am free of worry and regret. My thoughts become my reality. Exactly. And that's with my thoughts, you know. I thought so much opposite of what I know now, and I had to say I am, and then I started to you know, the thoughts become different, you know. I started to believe that I was beautiful, and I do believe it now, you know. I love myself, and that's how I'm starting to love others, because I'm finally starting to love myself. I've never loved myself. I am in love with myself and my body. See? Perfect. I am proud of myself. I am becoming more confident every day. I believe in myself. I will not worry about things I cannot control. I will be kind to myself and others today. I love myself. I am grateful for all I have. You know, if you said these every single day for a whole year, your fucking life would change completely. No doubts about it. So I did it. So, lots of love, guys. Take care.